In today's video, I'm going to share with you a really simple tip to make sure you find that fairway when you've got a tight hole or perhaps you're under pressure. Make sure you check this video out. Everything else the same. Welcome back to the True Golf Academy. You've joined me, John Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, is all about finding fairways. So we're talking about when you really need that go-to shot. Maybe you've got a tight hole, maybe you're in a match play situation, you're a little bit more under pressure, and you really need to find the fairway. Today's video is going to be a simple tip in just changing your tee height could actually help you find that fairway. I've got the use today, I've brought out my GC2 launch monitor. And it's got the head measurement device as well, we call the HMT. And this is really useful, so we're going to get some, with the dots I've got on my head here, we're going to get some ball data, but we're also going to get some club data. So we're going to see where the ball strikes, we're going to see the launch and the spin rate. And I'm going to hit two shots for you straight away and bring up the data on the screen, and I'm sure we're going to see the difference between them. And the second one, so the first one I'm going to hit is just going to be my stock regular shot. And the second one I'm going to hit, I'm going to peg the ball down for my fairway finder, and I'll explain why I'm doing that after I've hit these two shots and bring up the data. So on my first one, I'm just going to go ahead and tee at my regular height. Obviously something you can try on the driving range, and you'll still get the very visual effect even though you won't have the data from the launch monitor. So I'm not going to change ball position or swing thought or swing pattern. I'm just going to be changing the tee height. This is my stock regular driver, not trying to do anything particularly different. Okay, just a little cut. And on this one, what I'm going to do now, second ball, is really push that tee peg down into the ground. So this isn't talking about creating distance. This is talking about finding the fairway when you need to. So it will lose you a little bit of yardage. I'm expecting to strike the ball lower at the head, and I'm going to show you that from my HMT. Going to strike the ball lower at the head, and I'm going to show you that that's going to increase my backspin rate. It's going to rob me of some distance, but it's going to help me find that fairway when I need to. Now, it might be that what you do when you really need to find a fairway is take a club with a bit more loft or play a go-to shape. If you're a good player and you feel like you can actually hit a cut or maybe the draw shape to find the fairway, then great, you know, carry on doing that. I'm just talking about a very simple approach here. We're teeing the ball way down. So I've got this almost half the height I'd normally have it, so it's much, much lower, as if I'm striking it more out of the bottom of the golf club. And again, just try and do everything else the same. That was straight down the middle. Yeah, very, very happy with that. And looking at the data there, and I'll bring it up on screen, a real increase of backspin. So definitely struck the ball lower at the head. Let me grab another ball from the bag just to talk you through where this is coming from. So the golf club has a centre, a sweet spot that we want to be striking the ball on. We know for distance purposes, if we're going to be either way, we're better hitting the ball a little bit higher out in the head. And the reason for that is it will increase dynamic loft. So when the centre of the ball strikes above the centre of the golf club, we'll increase the loft, but we'll reduce the backspin because the ball will always take off trying to move towards the centre. So it won't create top spin. We never create top spin there, only once the ball's hit the ground and rolling quite a lot, or of course with the putter. But what we are doing is reducing the backspin where we're hitting the ball out the top of the head, and we'll get that high launch and low spin. So if we're talking about distance, definitely we want to strike the ball a little bit higher in the centre than the centre. and we're better being toe side to middle rather than heel side, perhaps to create that little bit more of a draw ball flight. And that can help us create more distance. But today's video is all talking about creating or hitting more fairways. So what we actually want to see is the opposite. We want the ball to strike lower in the centre. What that does is it will de-loft the golf club dynamically. So it will start that ball a little bit lower, but it will increase the amount of backspin because the ball will actually be trying to move up the face more, and we'll get that spinny shot where it will really climb. Now that won't work particularly well for you again into the wind. It will rob you of some more distance, but we're talking about that fairway finder. Maybe you've got a tight hole, maybe it's a match play situation where you really need to find the fairway, or a shorter par 4 where you still feel you need the driver, but you don't need to hit that driver flat out. By teeing that ball that little bit lower in the head, you can do what I did and really increase that spin rate. You'll see the flight of, or seeing the flight of those two shots as well. That lower launch, that higher spin to really help me find the fairway. With that more backspin there, I feel like I'm going to hold the fairway a little easier. And of course the ball isn't going to kick as far off line, so it's almost landing and stopping, which means I've got a little bit of a wider area as well. If you need that fairway finder, this simple tip could just help you. It's not something you're going to hit every hole, but on those odd occasions where you really need to find that fairway and it's critical for you to do it, this simple tip could help you. If that has, make sure you post some comments below. Great to hear from you. Hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel as well. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.